Welcome to the Influence Factory podcast. This program is dedicated to support professionals who have a desire to develop their digital business influence so they can navigate through a fast-paced, constantly growing digital world. We invite newcomers as well as our family of business influencers to a place to play, share ideas, questions, tips, and guidance with other thought leaders around the globe. Sit back and enjoy our program with our host Dean DeLisle as he interviews guests. News and commentary is provided by Cait Hassett and Jackson DeLisle. Power Move lessons are provided by the Influencer Marketing Department at Social Jack. And production, editing, and distribution is provided by the Social Jack production team.
All right, I want to welcome everybody to another episode of the Influence Factory, and we have a special guest joining us today, Brian Jensen. He is, Brian Jenkins. So sorry about that.
That's all right.
It's funny how the world shows up in different ways on different platforms. And previously a CNN reporter, and we're going to get into that when we do his interview. And then now he's in the blockchain space. So those of you that are on with us live are going to get to actually see him, talk about the transformation and really shifting industries in a big way. But before we do that, Cait, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. If people want to join us on social or on the live stream, in case they're on Zoom, where would they go?
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you're following us on social regardless. Outside of this Influence Factory, we post a lot of news articles like we cover on the show, industry tips, videos, things like that. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Social Jack, and then on Twitter at Get Social Jack. And if you are on Facebook, make sure you access our Business Influencer Alliance Facebook group. It's a cultivated community of people that want to share tips and tricks. And then, of course, we stream this program weekly live within the group, as well as unique programming and live streams. So just send us a request and we'll let you get in there. And Emily is also live tweeting this program today on Twitter using the hashtag Influence Factory. So if there's anything you want to see, if you want to chime in the conversation, you can also access us that way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Cait. And those of you that want to join us or download the segments or the entire program of the Influence Factory podcast, you can find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and also the Social Jack platform, which has the complete show notes and all the links and any attachments and materials that we might cover during the program. So we always encourage you to log in and get those updates and those tools as we continue to build that library. There's over 1,000 downloadable pieces in the Social Jack library now. So remember, these, I know, isn't it crazy? These are.
I think I've been saying over 300 for a really long time. And
I know. We hit 1,000, and that's what Joe was like. We got to change servers, but these are worksheets, and these are videos, and these are infographics, and it's news, and it's all kinds of things to help you build your digital influence. Doesn't that sound cool, Brian?
Yes, it does, sir.
Yeah. Why would anybody not do that? So,
sure.
All right. So we're going to move into our news segment. So this is the Social Jack Influencer News. So the top story today is LinkedIn has begun to roll out its own version, and they call it reactions for posts. Now, I'm laughing about this because when we were talking with Brian a little earlier, it was funny that, in Facebook, they came out with the fact that you could be angry, you could be laughing, you could be sad. You could just give it the old thumbs up that you just plain old like. And, we always laugh of how the platforms, when they see something take off, they start to copy off of one another. Mm-hmm. So the funny thing about this is their emotions are a little bit different, but Cait, you guys live in social media in your department there. What do you think about this?
I love it. I love it because, obviously it's not weird, like you said, to see other platforms copy each other when things take off. Facebook obviously is one of the first to do everything. So LinkedIn, copied them right with the live stream. Instagram jumped on the live stream. Snapchat came out and other people decided to add stories. So, it's not it's not uncommon to see. But what LinkedIn, I think, does better than anybody else is they really cater it towards their platform. So like Instagram adopted IGTV, and it really didn't go anywhere because they didn't really cater it for Instagram, whereas LinkedIn has that down. They understand who's on their platform, and they've really made it work for them. So whereas we see like the sad button on Facebook and the angry button on Facebook, those aren't the reactions we're seeing on LinkedIn. We're seeing likes, we're seeing celebrate, the love button, which I know their feedback was that people were asking specifically for a love button, and that is my favorite reaction, hands down. So I can't wait to use it. But also LinkedIn rolled out an insightful button that looks like a light bulb, and then a curious button, a little purple face that's like, think about it. Yeah. So I love that they catered the reaction specifically for their platform, because yes, you can like and you can celebrate when somebody's posting. Like Brian goes and posts that he was on Influence Factory, we can hit the celebrate button and we can hit the love button. But when somebody shares an article and it makes you think, you can hit that curious. And I think that that's like a reaction that it really fits in on LinkedIn. So I love that they did it that way.
Yeah. So Brian, as an avid user, you talked about early on about how you, and we'll talk about this a little more in your interview, about how you jumped onto LinkedIn with a whole group of people. And so with that, what do you think about these reactions that are just not a plain old like anymore?
So often I want to use an emoji on LinkedIn, and I find myself limited. I'm looking for those hearts and faces. I also was turned on to an app called Gifage that provides an endless variety of GIFs and little clips and photos that you can find for any occasion. I think many people will take some time to learn to use the emojis on LinkedIn because it tends to be a serious news and professional source of information. But over time, I think you'll see an increasing amount of that. So I welcome it. I'm going to try to use it carefully and not get carried away on LinkedIn the way I sometimes do on Facebook. I'd also like to see more emojis on Instagram, if possible. I feel limited there too, because I can only hit the little heart button to like something. And I get the impression that many people do not really read the comments on Instagram.
Right.
Facebook people tend to look at the comments on their comments, et cetera. But yeah, I look forward to using the emojis on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And I'll catch myself, especially on Facebook, when I'm looking at it, I will catch myself looking to go, oh, I got a couple of loves, or I got somebody that's sad, and I'm like, who's sad? What did I say? What did I say that was sad?
Well, you also have to keep in mind that people do it with their thumbs. So sometimes that little flick, because sometimes I'll try to hit love and I get the wow button and I'm like, that still kind of applies. I'll leave it.
I know there was something, and I said, Holly, why are you angry? She goes, oh, no, that's not toward you. And I go, well, it felt like it was. It was just funny because we're like,
stop yelling.
I know everything's taken in the moment.
Well, if anyone from LinkedIn is listening, I hope that the thing they roll out next is the reactions to other people's comments, because I would like to leave the curious or the love on other people's comments on a feed. So hopefully they roll that one out next, because Facebook does that currently, and I like it too, because that's another great way to join in the conversation and engage other people.
Now, Cait, you know that I'm a GIF-aholic and I'm an emoji-aholic, so especially in texting. So to Brian's point, what I was interested about is the fact that we have, used emojis especially to express different emotions, right? Emojis, emotions. So do you think that's going to start being less and less and going away? Because I've even used that, on LinkedIn. But what do you think? You think these buttons are going to start reducing us seeing more and more of these emojis?
No, I think people love emojis. regardless. I'm seeing a lot of people putting them in their headlines now, in their summary and their bios, things like that. I know I have them in my headline instead of the regular just separator. I have my separators, as an emoji. So I think that we're going to see it happen more often. And I think that now people are really in a groove of using LinkedIn and how they can use it socially and professionally and make those two brands work together instead of opposing. I think we're just going to see more fun, things like this happening. I'm even seeing more GIFs recently, which when the GIFs first rolled out, I think everybody was kind of scared to use them. And now I see them a lot more. So those are my favorite. I'm with Brian. I love GIFs.
I give, well, me on Twitter, I GIF everything. So it's like, I just love, and I like it because to me, it's like an open coloring book. I'm always surprised because they're constantly uploading new ones. So I like the fact that when you search it, boom, it pops up and it's like, oh, I'll use that one. And then, so, but those are fun. So
the gift of gifts.
Yeah. Right.
I love it.
It keeps on gifting.
Sounds like a flash class.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. With that being said, that concludes our news segment for today. So, and then we'll be jumping into our interview segment next. So we want to thank everybody for joining the news portion of the program. And again, if you want to download these independently, you can go to the YouTube channel. You can also go to podcast channels. And they will have the news segments, and they'll also have the interviews. So we want to thank everybody for whatever segment that you love. And we always want feedback. So if there's news that you want us to cover, just go into the Business Influencer Alliance Facebook group or on our social media, #Influence Factory, and tell us what you want. And then we'll make sure we serve it up.
Absolutely.
All right. With that being said, Cait, I will see you on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Influence Factory podcast. We welcome feedback and suggestions. You can provide these by visiting our website at www.myinfluencefactory.com. And if you are interested in Social Jack's 90 Days to Influence program, you can simply go to 90daystobusinessinfluence.com and simply ask for the next steps. While our program airs regularly on Zoom webcasts and Facebook Live on Wednesdays at noon Central, we invite you to download episodes on your favorite channel: YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and who knows where else in the future. We will also provide occasional on-location live streams with special guests that we will announce in our community Facebook group, Business Influencer Alliance, as well as on all Social Jack channels. Our mission is to help you build your digital business influence with this podcast, as well as inspire, educate, and entertain those who are hungry to collaborate in a cool place with cool business professionals just like you.